Peter, would you like to sort of introduce yourself?
Oh, you don't know who I am then? I thought you knew who I was. You've seen all my films. You know I'm Peter Richardson.
I know you're
The,
Peter Richardson, but my viewers might not know that you're Peter Richardson.
I like to think I'm a genius behind the comic strip, but I'm sure someone could point to me and say, no, you're just a waste of, yeah, what a shame. So go on. I'm Peter Richardson, yes, comic strip.
Yeah, writer, actor, producer.
Everything. I do
Yeah,
everything. Jack of
director.
all trades. So, what do you like to ask me?
I think last time I started with what is your favorite character that you played?
I think Spider, because I said it was a character I quite like to be, an easygoing, sort of
Mm.
happy-go-lucky, bit brainless, but sort of basically having a nice life, seeing them, never feeling anything too painful. Working with musicians who are, angst-ridden, ego-driven, and I think drummers are a bit like that. I've worked with drummers who they're just, they crack awful jokes all the time, but they sort of have a good life. They have a good life. So maybe Spider, which is not like me at all, because I'm quite morose and difficult. I'd like to be in.
I think after that I asked, what character do you wish you had played?
I think I said I don't think I've wished really to play any character. I think I've done
Hmm.
all the characters I probably could do.
I think you
I'm
said
not.
something about Gino that you'd originally thinking of playing Gino.
Oh, that's right. Well, when I was writing it, because I thought it was the lead part, and I'd be so good at it. But Keith said, you'd be awful because you're too middle class. And he said, I've been to prison, you haven't. So he was a proper fugitive, really. And of course, after we finished the film, he did go to prison for wrecking the Zanzibar. So he was the right choice, really. Gives the film a certain edge, doesn't it?
Are there any episodes that you've written that you'd like to write sequels to?
I think another Four Men I would like to have done, but
Hmm.
I think Rick had died, or I think the Channel 4 said, no, we've had enough of Four Men,
Hmm.
sadly, because I think Four Men in a Car and Four Men in a Plane. Four Men in a Plane is a better all-round film, but Four Men in a Car has some big highlights to it, which I like, and we show sort of about
Yeah.
8 minutes of it. It was mayhem. Anyway, so yes, it could have been Four Men in the Shit or Four Men on a Train or something, I don't know, but Four Men on a Cruise Liner, Four Men in a Balloon.
Oh, and you said you'd written some sequels to Bonehead and Foil from the Bullshitters.
We did. I think the best one we wrote was set at the National Theatre. I think it's called National Chop Shop or something. It was about cars being chopped up under the stage
Hmm.
because that was their main income. The theatre was getting main income from taking car parts and putting them in containers and sending them off to the continent. But they're having to sort of choose noisy plays to cover up the noise of the banging and crashing underneath the stage. So it's always
Hmm.
had big historical fight scenes or musicals or with lots of
Yeah.
crashing cymbals, and that was quite fun. So Bonehead and Foil have to audition as actors to find out what the hell's going on there, and then sort of join the cast. So that was going to be fun.
Yeah. What was the biggest difference between filming the comic strip and Glam Metal Detectives?
Well, yes, the glams were very, very intense because we were shooting so much in such a short time, and also the new cast, and they were all great, but it was just a real mosaic. We were trying to create a comic, a TV comic, and it was just exhausting. I spent 2 years making it, and I could have made 2 movies in that time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that effort definitely you could definitely see it on screen. But yeah, I imagine it was a
Production.
nightmare because you did all these things that only lasted a few seconds.
That's right. Everything was 2 or 3 minutes, but serials. I love that. Having serials of different serials
Yeah,
like Betty and Maisie's, Bad Mad
yeah, I
Dash,
love
where they're
those.
robbing houses and trains and whatever. And then Colin Corleone lives with his mum in Peckham. I loved that one. That was very good. And I like the glams. And I think I loved all the adverts and game shows and stuff we did as well. Was it so for £50,000, you will kill your parents after this break? Yes, I will.
Yeah,
Both your
yeah, I
parents.
love those ones.
We're going to be removing this woman's dignity right after this.
Okay, I don't want to be like that character, the interviewer, the Scottish one who'd always talk about herself.
Oh, that's great, isn't it? Yes. No, you're not doing that. I'm always asking you stuff. Oh, that's quite funny, isn't it? When she does get someone interesting in the studio. And says, well, I know because when I was saying, they never get to speak.
So did you come up with the idea for Glam Metal Detectives, like as
Yeah,
in for the whole show?
I came up with the idea of putting this group together, and there'd be this band thing, and there was serials, and game shows, and just all these different, so like a TV comic.
Mm.
And one day it'll probably take off, because I think people have never seen it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a shame. I don't think it's. I don't think it's streaming anywhere. I don't think all of it got released on VHS. I think only the first 3 episodes
I've
got
got
released on
3
VHS.
episodes on the VHS. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I've got all the episodes on Digibeta. So.
Yeah, because I've found it through YouTube, like, and literally from like people's like VHS recordings.
Oh right,
of
really
it,
rubbish.
so.
Yeah, rubbish, yeah.
Well, it's funny. It's an extra level of immersion because I've actually I've reviewed some shows that were on Paramount Comedy in like the late 90s, and those are also only available from people's VHS
Really?
rips. So
Really,
it's like an
private
accidental
collection,
level of
yeah.
immersion.
You've seen everything. I can't believe that. What else? You haven't got enough hours in a day to see all that stuff.
That reminds me of the question, one of the viewers' questions. How much drugs did you take while writing?
No, not really writing actually. I mean, I tell you actually, when we did take a bit of something a bit sort of narcotic. It was when we were doing Supergrass. Steve Martin, the famous actor, came to the premiere. And next day asked me to go to Pinewood to meet him, just because he loved the film. And I was a huge fan of his. I was so thrilled. And he said, really what I want to know is that scene where you're all laughing in the end of the film. We're all falling out laughing. He said, I've got this little shop horror scene where I've got to be laughing and get laughing gas. And I just, I kind of don't know how did you do it? And I said, well, I'll give you one word, amyl nitrate. He was shocked. He was horrified. He wouldn't even lose control of his lunch, let alone his brain for 5 minutes. He was appalled. He was appalled. I'm still suffering for that now, I think.
What episode did you recommend to someone who has never seen the comic?
Never seen a comic strip? Well, I think it depends on the taste, doesn't it? I mean, someone who likes Jennifer and Dawn probably doesn't want to see Bad News or Jolly, but probably likes to see Oxford or Consuelo or those kind of films, or Susie, more sort of. And Gina, I mean, I thought Gina was great, but Dawn and Jennifer are great in that. Jennifer looks amazing in that. I was watching her the other night. Her acting is just superb, Well, I was watching her for the first time on a big screen. I was watching her closely and just think, oh, she's good,
And yeah, Oxford is such a good one. I mean, the script. I mean, the thriller side of it is really, really good.
I started that film one night. I drank half a bottle of tequila. I started writing it, and I got about halfway through the script before Pete joined me the next day. I thought I don't know what's coming next. I made sure I never thought ahead. Like I said, if I can't think ahead, I've just got to finish the scene and think, what happens now? Oh, maybe this, do that. That's how I did it.
Weird coincidence, your co-writer's name being Pete Richkins.
I arranged it so it's very similar to mine, so he get lost in the mix, No, it's like I've named myself twice, isn't it? A short version of my own.
Do you have any stories about the Pope Must Die? If not, please tell again about Harvey Weinstein and the script.
Well, yeah, Harvey Weinstein. He just said, I've got 2 writers who could help your script. He said they wouldn't come up with an original idea till hell froze over, said Harvey. But they might bring help, your script, bring it a bit more to life. And I said, absolutely, I'm really game, collaborate, fine. Anyway, they sent the script over, which was just so awful. It has some nuns in suspenders crashing through walls on a digger and all. It's just weird stuff. And the Pope was really cynical, like, hey, guess what? I'm Dopey Popey, and I can do what I like, Hey, God bless you, He's just sort of all-powerful crook. And I just said, well, where's the point of this film then? It was supposed to be dealing with corruption and in the Vatican. If he doesn't do, who's the good guy here? Well, yeah. I don't think Harvey ever thought he wanted a Catholic to be anything but a bad guy, Even though it was Robbie Coltrane playing the Pope, So anyway, we had a sort of argument about it in front of everybody at Miramax. And it was basically, here's the script, i.e. these guys' script. This is the script we're all making, isn't it? And I said, no, I'm not making that. I'll use bits of it if you if it help us. But anyway, it was he never forgave me for that.
Yeah, good for you. But yeah, as I said earlier, it's life imitating art.
Well, exactly, because 2 years earlier I was doing a film with Strike, all about compromise with the forces of commercialism and easy hits. Serves me right, I guess. Serves me right to have to go through it.
Did you know anyone that had happened to when you were writing the
No,
strike?
not really. I mean, no, not really. No, but it certainly was. Harvey was certainly, determined you could put me on that ride.
The rest of the time you're producing your own work. Is it that nicer than like have the final say and that kind of thing when you're producing your own
Well,
work?
we were lucky. We were sort of a powerful group, really, the comic strip, and everyone was scared to meddle. I always say, well, the group are happy with that, even if they weren't, I'd say they were. And so that kept us, we had a power base, to deal with. Because if we'd been just me and one other person, they would have picked us off, no problem. But because we had this backing of these stars that they all wanted, they wanted the whole group, so.
What was working with Kate Bush like?
Well, she's very exacting. She's perfectionist beyond it. Everything has to be just absolutely perfect, So I did a promo for her Central World. We built this wood in Pinewood, which she dances through in all these conditions like firestorm and moonlight and pampas grass growing, and it just looks amazing. And she wanted it looking fantastic, and we had these guys up in the gantries with these amazing lamps firing carbon light, which is these old brutes did. And you had 15 guys behind, each one had to have a guy behind changing the carbon. But it looks amazing, that's how films used to be made. That beautiful light,
Yeah, it is spellbinding, that video. It's beautiful. What was working with Peter Cook like?
But incredibly funny, isn't he? It's lovely, really funny. And Rick and Abe were, just so, he was an absolute hero to them, I always liked him. I was never sort of that big a fan, but I liked him when I was working with him. He was funny,
I suppose Bottom is like a live action Derek and Clive.
Yeah, I think they were going for a modern Laurel and Hardy kind of look, with the frying pan over the head and all that stuff. I think the movie didn't work so well because it was done in front of a live audience on stage and on television. And when they went to a cinema setting, it was too real, Film reality is very different, I think. And on stage or on TV, people, that's suspension of disbelief. And I think the trouble is in a film, if you hit someone in the head with a frying pan, you're either going to kill them or they're going to hospital. But, in those kind of things, it's just a funny sound effect. And you get up again and go, oh, gosh, it doesn't quite work in a film like that.
To the viewers' questions now. What's your favourite episode?
It varies. I used to like Gino, and then I liked Gregory, Diver Nutcase. I've got fond of Four Men Are Playing because I've seen it on the big screen, and I think because Rick and Aid and Nigel and myself are sort of that foursome that will never be together again.
Yeah.
At the end of sort of towards the end, we're still working well together, and I find that quite touching, really.
But yeah, I like how Four Men in the Plane and Four Men in the Car have two completely different endings.
Yes, that's right. One's got a happy ending, the other's got they're trying to kill each other ending, but in a funny way. The mass strangle, wasn't it?
Yeah. Was that ever going to be like the ending of? Was that ever suggested as the ending of Four Men in a Car, and then you use it later, or is it just?
No. It was just a totally different concepts, really. What I've got to do is make clear in Four Men in a Car, because I think the first half people find it funnier than the second half. Well, I got to like the second half when I saw it during lockdown. I thought it was all right, but what it needs is for somebody or something to say that Dawn is this salesman's angel. So everybody knows what she is. So they think, well, who's this person turning up in this big truck, with cars and stuff? Where does that come from? And I think you have to say she's an angel, come to salesman, angel, come to save them, and then hopefully they'll accept that.
What directors are you inspired by, and what are your own personal favourite films?
I love King of Comedy. First half of The Jerk was fabulous with Jackie Mason and Steve Martin. Chinese film called To Live. I think it's been renamed Lifetimes in America, if you want to look it up. But it is one of the most stunning movies I've ever seen. About a family going through this cultural revolution. It's got humour, it's got tragedy, it's real roller coaster.
What did you find the most challenging?
Probably GLC, actually. I think that was tough because we only had 8 days. For some reason, we had a producer who said we can do it in 8 days, and we couldn't really. So we worked till midnight every night, and it was like everybody got really tired and cross. But it came out as a good film. Sometimes you have a great time and it comes out of crap. You've had a good time doesn't necessarily show itself on film. Although Fistful, I think we had a great time, but that was probably the most fun film to make.
Yeah, and you're saying that For a Few Dollars More was your like main influence with that one.
Yeah, I love A Few Dollars More is the best of those spaghetti westerns. In fact, I prefer it to all of his
Yeah, I love the soundtrack with the musical watch. I've seen online people
the trumpet coming in and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's so brilliant. I've seen online that people have now made the watch.
I want to get that. Yes, that'd be great to have that. Ding 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 ding.
Ding 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 ding. Two similar questions. Did everyone get on in real life? Was it as much fun putting it together as it was for us watching?
Oh yeah, I think writing was always the fun time. That's when you have the laughs. Making it, you're just rushing around trying to get it finished in time. Because every day you've got clocks ticking. You've got 50 people on the payroll, and art department, lighting people, and makeup and costume, and caterers. I mean, just everything. We have been friends, I think, over the years. It's sort of like a family. We have family feuds, I suppose, but we've sort of been like a family, really. And I've got a nice picture of everybody all together in 2009. And it's, I think, the first and last time we were all together, really. So one day I'll release that.
You want to talk about why you're not in The Young Ones again?
I did think I would have been hopeless in it. As I said, it wasn't my cup of tea at all. I think I would have been crap in it. The whole sort of those one-dimensional characters, I didn't fit into that really. And I'm far too serious for The Young Ones anyway.
Yeah.
I'm far too serious and clever. No, I was actually getting the Channel 4. I was getting comic strip together. Really, I was writing scripts and getting those made. And preparing the shoots, and so I was busy. I had enough to do, and I would have been rubbish in it.
How much of the dialogue sections of the Bad News album were improvised?
Most of it, all of it, none of it was scripted. It's all sort of tapes running all the time. There's a lot of stuff that was unfunny, but I suppose you found a bit sort of funny.
Yeah. I think it's brilliant, and it's lovely hearing you guys make each other laugh. So yeah.
We did. We used to make each other laugh. Yeah, very much so.
Was there a general approach for developing and writing an episode?
I would come up with snot treatments, and they did. I mean, everybody came up with treatments ideas. I think Pete and I would sort of write 2 or 3 scripts and expect one to get made, but in fact, they all usually got made because we were better at it. We wrote stories better. We wrote for the group. I think a lot of them were writing sketches, 3-minute sketches and stuff. I think we were quickly into long form, writing. And I think once you've done a movie script as well, you get better at doing a 50-minute or a 30-minute one, because you kind of know, you get to know how to shape the story a bit. And it was in our, that's all I wanted to do was make stories, film stories. So I was determined. We made some mistakes, with the war and Beat Generation. They were too rambling, too sketchy, really. So you didn't get engaged enough, But Famous Five was...
I think Beat Generation's nice because I think it's nice being in the company of the characters. But yeah, I definitely agree with you with War. Were the scripts generally written with actors in mind, or cast with actors after they had been developed?
Both, really. But it was mostly written in mind. We'd think, oh, Dawn could play that, Jennifer could play that, or Nigel would be good for that. I mean, I wrote Hot for Tony Blair and me, so I thought Nigel, Pat Mandelson, perfect,
Yeah.
So yes, generally we knew what they were going to play as we wrote it. We sort of thought of them, but then if they couldn't do it, we'd have to find someone else to do it. And, either someone within the group, or we'd bring someone in.
When you then got to know actors that like Roland Allen and stuff, I suppose then you cast them later because you
yes,
you
we
knew
had
them
people
right
we used to start bringing in. There's people like Miranda Richardson and T.T. Wallace and those kind of people. Maxine Peake, but later obviously.
Yeah.
I love Catherine Shepherd actually. She's great from Harry Enfield's show.
Yeah.
Harry and Paul. You've seen Harry and Paul's show? Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I have.
Genius. That's my favorite. I think that's my favorite comedy. I think she's great. She's great in those. She's very funny in those.
How many episodes or concepts were drafted and never completed?
Yeah, quite a few. I mean, I wrote with Eddie for 2 years. Dick Turpin and the Gregory Gang. I wrote with Alan Rickman, script set in China called Out of This World. Well, quite a few. Pete and I wrote some short scripts that never got made. They probably weren't good enough, and that's why we scrapped them and made Supergrass instead. I think we just thought, let's try and see if we can make a movie.
Was it fun making Stella Street?
Yes, I mean, fun writing it and fun editing it. Shooting was pretty mad, because you're just on the whole time and trying to get it all done again. You're trying to get it all done, but you've got John and Phil, and they're playing everything. We had a couple of stand-ins. It was when you're shooting, it's just you have time to laugh. You're just trying to get it right. As soon as you got
Yeah.
it right, you've got to go on to the next thing. You can't go,
Yeah.
wasn't that fun? Wasn't that great? We got it. Really got it. It's like, have you got it? Yep, got it. Thanks. Move
Yeah.
on to the next one, next shot.
Yeah. Because of course, if you laugh, you fuck up a take, don't you?
Well, I would just say, even sort of saying, good, have you got that? Good. And they'd be out, change to another character, or one of them would stay behind to do something I was going to do solo,
Because it does tend to be shot like one person at a time, even when it's the two of them,
Yeah, we shoot two of them together. Try and shoot two of them together, and one of them goes to change, but the other one carries on that character. And then, the other one comes back as another character, and then that one leaves, and that's leaves. So scheduling was incredibly intense, trying to get it right,
What are you going to do with your edits of the comic strip films? Are you going to release them on Blu-ray or something?
No, I probably could put those out. Yeah, but I think they'll go on a streamer like Netflix. Hopefully, that'll be what we'll do with them. I think it's good to review them because I think things change over time, and things got speeded up a lot. People have got short attention span probably, which I'll do the recut on Supergrass to bring it up to speed.
Will we see the comic strip book that you've been talking about writing?
I'm still working on it. I've just lost 2 chapters, which is boring, but I'm still working on it constantly. I'm still up revising it and re-editing it and stuff. I've got to write these last 2 chapters again.
How long did you guys rehearse for the Donington gig?
Not very long. We rehearsed. We did a gig supporting Iron Maiden at the Hammersmith Apollo, and Jimmy Page came on, made a surprise entrance for us. So we played there, and we did a couple of studio rehearsals. I think that was it really. But we did that 25-day tour around the country. We sort of got pretty used to playing then,
Yeah.
Drumming every night. My arms got bigger, so.
Yeah, I can imagine, yeah. What influence did you have on the episodes that you didn't write, like the Alexei Sale one?
Not very much on that or anything. No, I mean, basically, when you gave them over to people, I just let them deal with that, and the director they were working with,
Yeah, because of course you directed all of series 4 after letting most of the other people write and direct series 3, but then with series 5 there's 2 episodes written and directed by other people. There's Demonella
Paul Bartel,
by
exactly.
Paul Bartel,
and,
yeah.
Robbie did one, and I don't think either was very good actually, to be honest.
Yeah, I think they're all right.
They're okay, but not very funny.
Yeah,
I think Paul Bartel I thought would be funny because I liked the script, but it just didn't seem like a comic strip film to me,
Yeah, like tonally does feel a bit different. Yeah,
it's a bit trad, it's a bit trad, sort of American. It's quite American, I suppose, really, sort of.
But Jennifer Saunders is very good in that as the devil, I think.
Yeah, no, of course she's great. Yeah.
2 questions about Rick, weren't there? So, how shy was Rick?
No, he wasn't really shy. He was just he didn't project the Rick thing when he was with friends. He was just Rick as we know him. Kind of. But he didn't want public to see him like that. He wanted to see to see him as Rick Mail. The Rick Mail.
Yeah. Yeah, you could kind of see that in interviews. He'll I mean, particularly with like later ones, he'll open up a bit and then he'll go back into being, silly.
Yes.
What is your favorite memory of Rick?
Oh, I've got so many. I think, and I said, I think him first appearing at Comedy Store doing his poems, and the audience every time the audience laugh, he starts getting angry at them, and that's funny. The more angry he gets, the more they laugh, and the more they laugh, the angry. It's so brilliant. It's very funny. So that was a fond memory I had of that.
When I take my spear to the theatre.
Yes, I spit my spear
to play
to the theatre.
Hamlet.
Shut up! Shut up!
Shut up!
He'd do it with tears in his eyes. He was so angry that they're laughing and just making fun of him. And it was a brilliant guy. It was a brilliant act. Very funny.
Yeah. What's your favourite joke from any of your productions?
I think I love Rick's line in For Me in My Car. It's not a joke. It's just, I just want to go to Swinton. And it's just so heartfelt. And it makes me laugh every time. It's just done so beautifully by Rick.
God, I just want to go to Swindon!
And I didn't, it's not in the script, so he made it up on the spot. I checked it out. I went home and looked at the script, and I realised he must have made it up on the spot. It's great.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And as someone who's been to Swindon, that's how you know that Four Men and a Car is fictional, because no one wants to go to Swindon that much.
I quite like Famous Five. Uncle Quentin, who says,
she's an unrelenting nymphomaniac, and I'm a screaming homosexual.
very John Waters kind of line, that.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll finish it there. Apologies again
Well,
for doing it twice.
it's been very nice to talk to you.
It's lovely to talk to you too. Thank you so much for doing this.